I'll be like, sunset on the beach. Make me wanna pull up from Miami with the heat. I don't know about you, but I know about me. Summertime in Florida, 'cause we sliding on the key. Something's happening.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that intro. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my first semester college experience. In case you don't know, I go to Texas A&M University, Gigamags, or as we like to say, Agam Giggies. And I'm going to be talking to you guys just about a few things that I've learned from my first semester. This is kind of general advice. It's not just specific to A&M. So if you don't go to A&M or you don't even go to college yet, that's totally fine. These are just some tips that I've learned from my first semester of college. I wish I knew these things when I was going into college. Hopefully this all helps you guys a lot. I really think that it will, so I recommend watching through the whole video. There's gonna be a lot of things that I kind of throw in there that I think will help you guys a lot. So yeah, as your virtual big sister, let's sit down and chat. So the first thing I'm gonna get into with you guys is study tips. So studying is a whole nother monster in college. It's really a lot of doing it on your own, and a lot of this is going to sound cliche because you've probably heard it before, but I'm here to tell you that it is true. As far as study tips go, I recommend if you have a like voice memo app on your phone, that is super helpful when you're studying. Super helpful when you're studying. So basically what I do is I will handwrite my notes during class, or if you use an iPad to handwrite your notes, or if you type them up, whatever. I take those notes that I took during class, and then I'll read them out loud to myself while recording on voice memo, but I'll leave blanks, maybe for like certain vocabulary words or certain things I need to know. I'll ask myself a question maybe based on the notes. So it's basically like I'm quizzing myself through that voice memo. So then I can go back and listen to it, maybe like on my earbuds, like when I'm walking to class or like things like that. Literally just get to like quiz myself all the time, like whenever I need to. So that is a super helpful study tip that has honestly helped me a lot. Also, for studying, find like a good place that you are going to enjoy studying. One place that I really like to study on campus is the ILCB. It's a building that is literally just like so quiet. I enjoy a quiet study space, but maybe you like somewhere that's a little bit louder. So just finding those places that make you feel cozy, welcome, and not like stressed out is good, because you don't want to like be like stressing out, heart racing while you're trying to study. Sometimes I get like that, so just find a place that relaxes you for sure. Here are some clips of my friends and I studying, kind of studying. Number 2 is football games. So football games are a really fun way to get involved on campus. Of course, it's not for everyone. Like, not everyone goes to the football games, and like that's totally fine. Don't feel pressured to go to football games or sporting events if that's not really for you. I got a sports pass for this semester. That's kind of just a season pass. It gets me into every game that I need to for the year. And I really enjoyed having that. I think it was a really good investment because that way I don't have to pay my way into games and like maybe ask people for sports passes. It's really nice to just have, that way I can go whenever. And the games are really fun. I really enjoyed them, and even if football's not really for you, like my friends and I don't really pay attention to the game except for the Bama game where we beat Alabama. I will insert a clip of that right now because it is legendary. But yeah, just some fun memories made, but don't feel pressured if it's not for you. There are plenty of other things to get involved in on campus. Okay, meal swipes, dining, food, all very important things to consider before you go to a school, before you start attending college. I personally love the dining halls that we have on campus for A&M. They're really good, and you'll hear mixed reviews like, oh, the food sucks. The 2 dining halls we have are the Commons and Sabisa, and then there's like another one called Duncan, but like everyone says don't go to Duncan, so anyway. Sabisa and the Commons are great. And then we also have a lot of other restaurants on campus. So wherever you go or wherever you are going, I'm sure that you do have plenty of other dining halls and restaurants as well on campus. We at A&M have Einstein Bros, which I literally go to every single day. I love Einstein. It's a really good snack or breakfast. And then we also have like Jason's Deli, Papa John's, and some Mediterranean food, and like Chick-fil-A, like everywhere. Chick-fil-A is just everywhere. So yeah, and then as far as meal swipes and dining dollars, I never knew this going into college, so listen up, this is good information right here. Okay, so a meal swipe, I have learned, is something that gets you into the dining hall, like either Sabisa or the Commons in Texas A&M's case. It gets you into the dining hall, which is where you can go for like pretty much any cuisine you want. But then dining dollars are used when you want to get food from other places outside of the dining hall, whether that's Einstein Bros or like Chick-fil-A or Starbucks. You can use dining dollars to pay for those meals that you get at those other places. So that's kind of the difference between those two. And then there's also a thing called retail swipes, where if you want to use one meal swipe that you would normally use to get into the dining hall, you can use one of those per day at a different location, whether that's Einstein, Chick-fil-A, Papa John's, whatever, to pay for a meal that you would have paid with dining dollars, if that makes sense. So you can transfer a meal swipe to dining dollars once a day. Hopefully that makes sense. That was something I really wish I would have known going into college because I was so confused about meals and how all of that works, but you live and you learn. Number 4 is extracurriculars and clubs. So this is a real big doozy for me going into college. I had no idea what to spend my time doing. Should I join clubs? Should I like not my first semester? Is it too much going on? Should I do a sorority? And of course, this advice is not gonna be the end all be all for what you should or should not do. It's just whatever is right for you, of course. But for me, I did end up joining a few clubs. I joined a women's org on campus. I also joined a neuroscience organization on campus because that's my major. And then I also am very involved in St. Mary's Catholic Church. I'm a volunteer there and I do a lot of different things just in the youth group, and I involve myself with that. I kind of lost my balance there. Anyway, one nice little thing that I heard some students saying around campus that kind of like put things into perspective for me as far as clubs and organizations goes is that a rule of thumb is to join one academic club and then one for fun club. So that'll kind of like keep it a minimum. Like 2 clubs is like plenty in my opinion, especially if you're busy with like a hard major and things like that. You're taking a large course load. It's good to do like maybe 2 clubs, try them out. I did decide though at the end of my semester that the women's org I was a part of was a little bit too time consuming for me, and it just was a lot of stuff to do every day, and it was a lot of fun and I enjoyed it, but I just couldn't really keep up with my grades and with studying as much as I would have liked to. So I decided to go ahead and drop that organization, and it's totally okay if you decide to drop. Like, your grades come first, so just do what's best for you. Number 5 is AP credit. AP credit! Okay, this is what I learned about AP credit that I didn't really realize going into college. I kind of wish I would have never taken the biology AP test, also the stats AP test, and this is why. When you go into college, especially if you're going to med school, I think this mostly applies to anyone going pre-med, but if you take a lot of AP courses that you're gonna have to take anyway in college, it doesn't really make sense to take them in high school. I didn't accept my biology AP credit. I got a 3 on my AP test, which was like, but I didn't accept it because I realized going into med school, if I do decide to go to med school, most medical schools don't want to see that you accepted your AP credit for a core class that you're required for your major. They want to see that you took it at your home institution instead of just accepting it from your high school. So that's why I decided to go ahead and just take the class again, and I actually am really glad I did because I feel like I learned a lot and refreshed myself a lot more than I would have if I would have just accepted my AP credit. I accepted my AP credit for other things like my German foreign language class, I got a 4 on, and then also my AP psychology test I got a 5 on, and so those higher scores like are good to accept, especially if they're not required for your major, but the ones that were required for my major, really didn't help me to accept, so I didn't end up accepting them anyway. So if I would have just not went through the stress of taking the AP test, that would have been great. But what's done is done, and hopefully that helps you guys. The final and sixth thing I'm going to talk about is kind of a conjoined comparison and homesickness that you might feel your first semester, or even your first year, your first 2 years, however long of college. Homesickness and comparison is something that I felt like I dealt with a good amount during my first semester of college, and I also noticed a few of my friends kind of struggling with that homesickness as well. And so something I kind of want to say on that is that when you go to a new place and you're surrounded by a lot of new people, like new faces literally every day, like walking to class, like just every day, you know, like you will see all of these new people, especially going to a big school, you know, like you're not going to know everyone. And if you went to a small high school, you might be used to like knowing everyone, kind of being an integral part of your class in high school. But in college, it kind of feels like you're dumped into the sea of people and like nobody knows you. Maybe you know a few people, but by a vast majority, you don't know many people. And so that was something hard for me to kind of grasp going into college. I was used to kind of knowing the ropes, like I know my way around. I know this person is like my comfort, like that's my best friend. Having people to go home to who you're super comfortable with every night is a big comfort that I never realized that I really, really enjoyed having. So when you go into college, just remember that things are going to be very different, and I'm only 2 hours away from home, but I still feel that homesickness sometimes. Being close to home was something that I didn't think I would want because I thought I was going to go like Indiana, like Notre Dame for college. Shout out to my college decision reactions video. If you haven't watched it, I'll link it above. Don't be afraid though if you go far away for college, like you're gonna be fine, and there's always FaceTime and things like that. You'll get used to it. Just keep in mind that people you see walking around, you know, they don't have their life together either. Like you're all trying to figure it out. Yeah, some people, you know, they look like they have it all together, like, oh wow, like they're walking to class with all of their friends. It looks like they have such a big group of friends, or like, oh wow, like she's so pretty. Like, you know, those thoughts can always creep in, but just remember that you're in the place in your life where you are for a reason, and maybe you are right now the one that people look up to, like, oh wow, she looks like she has, or he looks like he has his life together. Usually we're all just trying to figure it out together, and I recommend just getting involved with your campus and finding organizations that mean a lot to you and that you're passionate about, and finding those people that you can find comfort in, like you would your family. That'll really help you with your adjustment period and feeling like you've made a home out of your college. Dorm life is a whole nother 7th tip in itself, so if you have any questions on that or want an inside look of what dorm life is like at A&M, I have a video on my channel that I'll link above. So those are some things that I've learned my first semester of college. It's crazy that it's already over. So second semester, here we come. If you guys have any questions at all, any suggestions for a video, please comment them down below and I will respond and get back to you guys as soon as I can. And just remember that we are all getting through this together, and I will see you guys on the flip side. I just realized that there's been a sock like halfway out of my dresser this entire video. Anyway, just thought I'd acknowledge that. Okay, bye guys!